There are two kinds of people, those who want to be comfortable and those who want to build wealth that outlives them. This video is for the builders, the ones chasing lasting generational self-perpetuating wealth. To create wealth, you first have to understand the purpose of cash, what money is, and what it's not. I can talk to someone for 5 minutes and read their finances. Your words betray where you really are. Building wealth feels impossible until you learn how. Then you wonder why it ever felt hard at all. When you're struggling, you can't see why it isn't working. The real reason? You don't understand what wealth actually is. Most people think money is just what you get for trading your time, then spend on bills. My job is to give you a different perspective, because a new perspective creates a new purpose for your money. Picture a strong financial house, built on the foundation of truth. Truth is the foundation of everything. That house has 4 windows. The first is your income window, where most people get money from a job. You trade your time for money, then trade that money for the cars, food and clothes you desire. Because everything costs money, people obsess over accumulating it. They believe cash accumulation is the whole point. But the wealthy know a secret. Cash accumulation is not the primary purpose of money. For poor families, money comes in the income window and rushes straight out the outgo window as bills. They hyper-focus on bills. That focus treating bills as money's purpose is exactly what keeps them poor. Maybe you've been there. Water bill or electric bill this month. Car insurance or gas. I've lived there too. The middle class plays a different game. They pay bills on time to protect their credit, leaning on debt. That debt window funnels wealth, reducing liabilities. Money in through the job, out through borrowing and bills. So they think, if I could just make this window bigger, from $15 an hour to $35, a raise makes life incrementally better, not exponentially. More dollars per hour still trades your time. The rich focus on a different window entirely. Income producing assets. You feed it money and time. At first, that window produces nothing. That's why most people quit before it ever pays them. You can't get truly rich until you stop working for money and start working on things that don't pay you yet. This is delayed gratification. You sacrifice the short term on the altar of the long term. It works the same for skills, for health, for wealth. Value the long term and life rewards you. Slowly the asset window wakes up. A little money, then more, then more, then more. Eventually that asset window feeds money back into your income window on its own. Then it grows large enough to pay all your bills. Imagine assets covering every bill you have. I wrote a book in 2006. That single asset generates $7,000 to $18,000 a month. I wrote it one time. Month after month, whether I touch it or not, the income still flows. If you're struggling now, it's because you own no assets. Your time is your only asset. That's fine for now. But if 5 years pass and it's still all you have, that's a problem. Grow that asset window big enough and you no longer need the income window at all. When I get $1, I don't ask what to buy. I ask how to turn it into more money. For many people, that's not even a question on the list. That's why the struggle never ends. When God made man, he didn't put him in a factory. He placed him in a garden. You plant a seed. The seed becomes the asset bears fruit, and the fruit feeds you. You haven't planted any seeds for assets. That's why it isn't working the way it should. In April of 1999, for the first time, I hyper-focused on one thing: assets. Income would follow. They taught us to save money, but saving alone means hoarding something inflation makes worth less every year. Stop seeing wealth as a pool to be viewed. Start seeing it as a tool to be used. Cash flow beats cash accumulation. I'd take massive flow over a giant stagnant pile any day. Most people work for money their whole lives. The wealthy make money work for them. There's a window in your financial house that changes everything. It's the income producing asset window. When you first put money and time into assets, they produce nothing. That's why most people quit. You can't make real money until you learn to stop working for money. That doesn't mean stop working. Wealth creation runs on delayed gratification. You sacrifice the short term on the altar of the long term. Most people do the opposite. They sacrifice their future for what feels good right now. Then the asset window starts producing. A little at first, then more, then more. Eventually your assets pay your bills. Imagine every bill covered without trading another hour of your time. I wrote one book back in 2006. It still pays my personal bills every single month. I wrote it one time. The income shows up month after month, whether I touch it or not. If you're struggling right now, it's because you have no assets. You are the only asset you own. That's fine for now. But if 5 years pass and it's still all you have, that's a problem. Build that asset window big enough and it pays your bills, refills your income and clears your debts. When I get $1, I never ask what to buy. I ask how to turn it into more. For most people, that question isn't even on their list. That's exactly why they stay stuck. Think about it. When mankind was made, he wasn't put in a factory. He was put in a garden. In a garden, you plant a seed. The seed becomes the asset, and the fruit is what you live on. You haven't planted any seeds for assets, and you wonder why nothing's growing. The clues were there all along. You're just running the system in a way it was never designed to run. When I finally understood this, I was rich in my mind long before I was rich in my pocket. April of 1999. For the first time in my life, I hyper-focused on one window: assets, 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 assets. Get the assets first, and the income can follow. Meet average Joe. He stays broke because he thinks getting rich means piling up cash. It's what they taught us. The very first thing they said to do with money was save it. But the wealthy know saving alone is a trap. Idle cash quietly loses value to inflation. Stop seeing wealth as a pool to be viewed. Start seeing it as a tool to be used. Cash flow is infinitely more important than cash accumulation. A river beats a pond. I'd rather have massive cash flow with little stored than a giant pile that never moves. Think of two seas. The Sea of Galilee is alive. The Dead Sea is dead. Same water, different design. The Dead Sea has inlets, but no outlets. Nothing can live in it. If your money has inlets and no outlets, it becomes a dead sea of cash accumulation. Plenty of people have huge accumulation and tiny flow, and they still struggle every month. Their money is all locked in retirement accounts, frozen for a someday that may never come. Cash flow and accumulation together is best, but flow is the engine that keeps you alive. Here's the real goal. Keep your cash flowing long after you're gone. That's cash perpetuation. One thing we all share: we're going to die. The question is what your money does after you do. Generational wealth is not an amount. Fortunes vanish in 2 generations all the time. Generational wealth is a system. It's cash that keeps perpetuating after you're gone. You build it with assets income can follow while you live, and that keep paying after you don't. My self-published books are funnels. When I'm gone, my family still has the cash flow. That income wasn't set by something I do every day. It was set by something I did one day. Wealthy families also use life insurance to perpetuate wealth, because the death benefit isn't taxable. Stop viewing money as a pool to stare at. Start using it as a tool that builds. Cash accumulation is what most people call wealth. I call it the slow trap. Here's the truth. Cash flow is infinitely more important than cash accumulation. I'd rather have massive cash flow and little savings than a huge pile that never moves. Think about water. Not all bodies of water are alive. The Sea of Galilee in the north teems with life. Fishermen have worked it for centuries. It lives because the Jordan River pours in and water flows back out. To the south sits the Dead Sea. Beautiful, mineral-rich, and completely lifeless. Why is it dead? It has inlets but no outlets. Everything comes in, nothing leaves. If your money only flows in and never works its way out, it becomes a dead sea of cash. I know people with huge savings and tiny cash flow. They still struggle every month. Their money is trapped in a retirement account they may never live long enough to enjoy. Cash flow now beats a locked fortune later. And both together? That's the dream. But there's one more level above flow. The one almost nobody talks about. Cash perpetuation. Money that keeps flowing long after you're gone. One thing we all share. We are going to die. Either I attend your funeral, or you find out about mine. So the real question becomes, what happens to your money the day you stop breathing? Generational wealth is not an amount of money. Let that sink in. Families have inherited hundreds of millions and lost it all in 2 generations. Generational wealth is a system, a machine of cash perpetuation that outlives you. It runs on assets income can follow, both while you're alive and after you're gone. The books I wrote one day still pay my family every single month. That's perpetuation. My cash flow from those assets isn't determined by what I do every day. Just one day. There's another tool the wealthy use for perpetuation. Most families ignore it. Life insurance. And no, not just income replacement. A wealth perpetuation engine. The death benefit is not taxable. That's a quiet, powerful advantage. Wealthy families insure everyone. Not just the breadwinner. Everyone. We avoid thinking about death, as if not buying insurance keeps loss away. It doesn't. Losing someone you love is more draining and disorienting than you can imagine. Insurance buys you something priceless. The choice to step back instead of rushing to work. If you're a married man with children and no life insurance, fix that today. Don't leave your kids alone while you return to work because you failed to plan. Stop pretending the clock isn't ticking. We are all expiring. Act like it. Build your life in order. Assets first, then accumulation, then perpetuation. That's the blueprint. But here's the deeper truth. How much you accumulate doesn't decide how wealthy you really are. Money is not wealth. Read that again. Money is not wealth. Wealth is your ability to create value for someone other than yourself. Create value for others and you are wealthy. Fail to, and no pile of cash makes you rich. Perpetuation takes more than insurance and assets. It takes the right heirs. Raise children who are financially literate so they perpetuate the wealth instead of decimating it. This is wealth building 101. Increase your cash flow, then prepare your cash perpetuation. Plant the seeds today, build the system, and stay blessed by the best. Here's the truth most families miss. Generational wealth is not an amount of money. Fortunes worth hundreds of millions have vanished in just 2 generations. The money was never the system. Real generational wealth is a system of cash perpetuation. Money that keeps flowing long after you're gone. You build it with assets that income can follow. Assets that pay while you live and pay after you leave. Think about a book you write once. The cash flow keeps coming, determined by something you did one day, not every day. That's the shift. Stop trading every day for money. Build the asset once and let it pay forever. Now here's a tool the wealthy use that most people ignore. Life insurance for wealth perpetuation. The death benefit isn't taxable. That's a clean transfer of wealth straight to your family. It's not only income replacement. It's a deliberate engine for perpetuating what you've built. Everyone in your family will die someday. Avoiding the thought doesn't change the fact. So insure yourself, insure your spouse, insure your children. Significant coverage on purpose. When loss hits, it's surreal, draining, distracting. Insurance buys you the freedom to be present, not rushed back to work. If you're a married man with no life insurance, fix it. Don't leave your family choosing between grief and a paycheck. Stop pretending the clock isn't ticking. Act like time is the one resource you can't earn back. Here's the order. Step 1, income producing assets. Step 2, cash flow. Step 3, cash perpetuation. And remember this, how much you accumulate doesn't measure how wealthy you truly are. Wealth is your ability to create value for someone other than yourself. That's the real measure. When you create value for others, you're wealthy. When you can't, no balance sheet will save you. But cash perpetuation needs one more thing. Heirs who actually understand these principles. Raise children who are financially literate. So when you're gone, they perpetuate the wealth instead of decimating it. This is wealth building 101. Assets first, cash flow next, perpetuation last, and value at the center of it all. Don't let your money become a dead sea, inlets but no outlets. Keep it flowing and keep it living. Start today. Plant one seed, build one asset, protect your family, and teach the next generation. Increase your cash flow, prepare your perpetuation, and create lasting value. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.